Hi, and welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, and today we're going to talk about something really important if you're learning English. It's not just about what you need to do to improve your English, but also about what you need to stop doing. Sometimes it's not the lack of effort that stops your progress, but the bad habits you've picked up along the way without even noticing. In this video, we're going to explore 8 bad habits that can quietly ruin your English without you realizing it. These are things that learners often do every day, especially in casual or daily life conversations, and they can seriously hold you back from becoming fluent and confident in English. So let's take a closer look at these habits, understand why they're so damaging, and most importantly, how you can change them. We'll also include some practice examples and exercises throughout the video, so stay with me till the end. Let's start by thinking about how you use English every day. Do you find yourself always translating from your native language before speaking? Do you use simple, repeated phrases over and over again because you feel unsure about trying something new? These habits might feel safe, but over time, they can keep your English at the same level, stopping you from making real progress. Imagine you're trying to talk about your weekend and you always say, I go to market, I buy food. That might be okay for a beginner, but if you've been learning English for a while, this habit of sticking to basic sentences can stop you from learning new vocabulary or sentence structures. You need to challenge yourself to say something like, on Saturday, I went to the market and bought some fresh vegetables for dinner. See the difference? The second sentence sounds more natural and advanced, but many learners stick to what they already know and don't take risks. This habit makes your English sound limited and even robotic. Another common bad habit is being afraid to make mistakes. I completely understand. It can be scary to say the wrong thing or feel embarrassed in front of others. But let me tell you something important. Every fluent speaker of English, even native speakers, makes mistakes. The real difference is they don't let the fear stop them. When you avoid speaking or only speak when you're 100% sure, you miss the most important part of language learning: practice. Think about this. If a child waited until they knew every grammar rule perfectly before speaking, they would never talk. Children learn because they try, they get corrected, and they try again. You need to give yourself that same permission to learn through trying. So, let's do a little practice right now. Imagine you want to describe your last vacation, but you're not sure if the grammar is correct. Try saying this. Last summer, I go to beach. I swim every day. Now let's fix it together. Last summer, I went to the beach. I swam every day. Even if you said it wrong the first time, the important thing is you tried. That's what helps you learn. There's also a habit of overusing filler words like, like, and These are very common in casual speech, even among native speakers. But when used too much, they can make you sound unsure or less fluent. Oh, it's fine to use them occasionally, but pay attention to how often you say them. A good way to practice reducing fillers is to speak slowly and pause when you need to think. Don't be afraid of silence. Silence shows control and gives you time to think. Try this exercise. Describe your daily routine without using like, um, or, you know, say, I wake up at 7 a.m., I take a shower, then I eat breakfast. Speak slowly, clearly, and with confidence. Practice this every day for 5 minutes. It really helps build fluency and clarity. Another bad habit that ruins your English is not listening enough. Many learners focus too much on speaking and grammar, but they don't spend enough time listening to real English. Listening helps you understand how the language works in natural settings, how people link words, use idioms, express emotions, and change their tone. If you only listen to textbook recordings or classroom audio, you're missing out on how English is really spoken in the real world. Start listening to English podcasts, YouTube videos, interviews, and movies. Don't worry if you don't understand everything, just try to get the general meaning and pay attention to how the words are used. Here's a simple listening exercise. Watch a short video in English with subtitles, then watch it again without subtitles. Try to repeat what you heard. This trains your ear and helps you remember useful expressions. Speaking of useful expressions, here's another bad habit: ignoring phrasal verbs and idioms. Phrasal verbs like give up, look after, or pick up are everywhere in English, and if you don't understand them, you'll miss a lot of meaning. Some learners focus only on individual words and skip these multi word expressions, which makes their speech sound unnatural. For example, instead of saying, I stopped smoking, you could say, I gave up smoking. It's more casual and common in everyday English. So make a list of common phrasal verbs and try to use them in your daily conversations. Let's practice a few together. Repeat after me. I picked up my friend from the airport. She looks after her younger brother. They gave up eating junk food. These phrases will make your English sound more fluent and natural. Another mistake is relying too much on grammar rules when speaking. Now, don't get me wrong, grammar is important, but if you're thinking about grammar all the time while trying to speak, it can slow you down and make your sentences sound unnatural. English is about communication, not perfection. The key is balance. Learn grammar to understand how the language works, but when you speak, focus on expressing your ideas clearly. Here's an exercise to help with this. Take a simple topic like my favorite food and talk about it for 1 minute without stopping. Don't worry if the grammar isn't perfect. Just speak. Then listen to yourself or read what you said and try to improve it. Maybe you said, I like eat pizza. You can correct it later to I like to eat pizza. This way, you learn from your mistakes without letting them stop you from speaking. One more bad habit is not reviewing what you've learned. Many learners study something once and then move on thinking they've learned it forever. But memory doesn't work like that. If you don't review, you'll forget. To make words and expressions part of your active vocabulary, you need to see and use them many times. A good way to review is to keep a small notebook or digital note where you write down new words and phrases. Each day, take 5 minutes to review them and try using them in sentences. Let's do a quick review practice. I'll say a word and you make a sentence with it. Ready? The word is improve. You might say, I want to improve my English. Next word, confident. You could say, I feel confident when I speak slowly. Practicing like this every day helps you remember and use the words you've learned. Another really common habit that affects your English fluency is depending too much on subtitles. A lot of learners love watching English movies or shows, but they always keep subtitles on in their native language. At first, this might help you understand the content better, but in the long run, it becomes a crutch. Your brain stops listening to English and instead focuses on reading the translation. This prevents you from learning how to listen naturally. To fix this, try switching to English subtitles first. Then, once you feel more confident, remove the subtitles altogether. You can also watch scenes multiple times, first with English subtitles, then without. This technique trains your ears and improves your listening skills over time. For example, try watching a short clip from a movie or interview. First, watch it with English subtitles, and repeat some lines out loud. Then watch again without any subtitles and see how much you understand. This will feel difficult at first, but it's very effective in developing real comprehension. Now, let's talk about the habit of not thinking in English. This is one of the biggest blocks to fluency. When you always translate your thoughts from your native language into English, your brain takes extra time to process, and your speech becomes slow and unnatural. To become fluent, you have to start thinking in English directly. That means practicing your inner voice in English, describing what you're doing, planning your day, or talking to yourself, all in English. Start small. When you wake up, say to yourself, I'm getting out of bed now. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm going to make some breakfast. These small thoughts in English help your brain get used to thinking in the language. Let's do a mini practice right now. Imagine you're making tea. Say to yourself, I take a cup. I pour hot water. I add the tea bag. I wait 2 minutes. I drink it slowly. Practicing like this every day will slowly change how your brain works with English. Over time, you'll notice you don't need to translate anymore. You'll just speak. Many learners also fall into the habit of not asking questions when they don't understand something. Maybe you're in a conversation or watching a video and someone uses a word you don't know. Instead of asking or checking the meaning, you just ignore it and move on. But this habit stops you from growing your vocabulary and improving your comprehension. It's okay to ask, what does that mean? Or can you repeat that? Being curious and active in your learning is one of the best ways to improve. If you're watching a video or listening to a podcast and hear a new word, pause it and look it up. Write it down and try using it later. For example, let's say you hear the word frustrated and you're not sure what it means. You stop the video, check the meaning. It means feeling upset because something is not going as expected. Then you write a sentence. I felt frustrated when I couldn't solve the math problem. This turns a passive experience into an active one, and that's how you really learn. Now let's spend a little more time on pronunciation. One harmful habit is not working on your pronunciation regularly. Many learners focus on grammar and vocabulary, but they don't pay attention to how words sound. As a result, their speech may be hard to understand, even if their sentences are correct. Good pronunciation doesn't mean you have to sound like a native speaker, but it does mean speaking clearly and confidently so others can understand you. A good way to improve pronunciation is through shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, copying their tone, speed, and rhythm. Let's try it now with a simple sentence. I'm going to the store later. Say it out loud with me. I'm going to the store later. Now repeat it a few more times and try to match the rhythm. This type of practice is great for improving your spoken English and building confidence. Another habit to watch out for is avoiding reading in English. Reading helps build vocabulary, improves grammar, and introduces you to sentence structures used in real life. But many learners skip reading because they find it too slow or difficult. If you only rely on listening or speaking, your vocabulary might stay limited. Reading can really expand your knowledge and expose you to different topics. You don't have to read long novels. Start with short stories, news articles, or English blogs about topics you enjoy. Even reading a page a day can make a difference. After reading, write down 3 new words and make a sentence with each. For example, if you read the word delicious, you can write, the cake was very delicious. Or for the word conversation, you can write, I had a long conversation with my friend. This practice not only teaches you new words, but also shows you how to use them in real sentences. Now let's focus on another bad habit: learning passively without using what you've learned. Many learners watch videos, read books, or attend classes, but they never use the language actively. Just watching or reading isn't enough. You have to speak, write, and interact in English to truly improve. Language is like a muscle. You have to use it or you'll lose it. Let's do a quick practice exercise. I'll give you a situation and I want you to speak about it out loud for 1 minute. Here's the situation. You're at a restaurant and you're ordering food. Say what you would say to the waiter. For example, "Hi, I'd like to order a grilled chicken sandwich, please. Can I also get a glass of water?" Practice this several times with different food items and drinks. This type of speaking practice builds real world fluency and prepares you for everyday conversations. Also, don't forget the importance of writing. Writing in English helps you think clearly and organize your thoughts. It also helps you notice your grammar and vocabulary mistakes more easily. A good habit is keeping a daily journal in English. You can write about your day, your goals, what you learned, or how you feel. Try writing just 5 sentences a day. For example, today I went to the park with my cousin. We walked for an hour and saw many birds. The weather was sunny and warm. I felt happy and relaxed. Later, I made pasta for dinner. Simple but effective. Writing regularly helps improve your grammar, spelling, and confidence. Let's take a moment to reflect. Which of these habits do you recognize in your own learning? Maybe you rely too much on subtitles or you're afraid of speaking up. Maybe you never practice thinking in English or you avoid reading and writing. The good news is that all of these habits can be changed one step at a time. Start by picking one bad habit and focusing on it this week. Make a small goal, like I will speak out loud for 5 minutes every day, or I will write 3 sentences in English each night. Small actions lead to big changes over time. Remember, improving your English is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, open to learning, and brave enough to make mistakes. One of the most damaging habits learners have is being too afraid of making mistakes. This fear can stop you from speaking, writing, and even practicing English at all. But making mistakes is not only normal, it's necessary for growth. Every fluent English speaker has made thousands of mistakes while learning. If you wait to speak only when you're perfect, you'll never speak. Instead of focusing on being correct all the time, focus on being understood. Your main goal should be communication. Think about a child learning to speak. They make many grammar mistakes, use the wrong words, and sometimes don't pronounce things correctly. But they keep trying, and eventually they become fluent. Adults can learn the same way, but only if they accept that mistakes are part of the journey. So here's a practice challenge. Say a sentence out loud that you're not 100% sure is correct. Don't stop to fix it, just say it. Then try to say the same thing in a different way. For example, say, "He go to market yesterday." Then try again. "He went to the market yesterday." See the difference? By trying and self-correcting, you're learning. Be brave and allow yourself to be imperfect. Another thing that ruins your English progress is comparing yourself to others. It's easy to see someone else speaking fluently and feel discouraged. But remember, everyone learns at a different pace. Some people have more time, different resources, or different learning experiences. Just because someone else is ahead today doesn't mean you won't catch up tomorrow. Comparison creates stress and steals motivation. Instead, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Ask yourself, did I practice today? Did I learn something new? Did I try? If the answer is yes, then you're moving forward. Keep a notebook where you record your small wins. Write things like, "Today I learned 5 new words," or "I watched a video without subtitles." Over time, you'll see how much you've improved. This builds confidence and keeps your energy focused on your own progress, not someone else's. One more bad habit is waiting for the perfect time to learn. Many learners say, "I'll study more when I have free time," or "I'll speak English when I feel ready." But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. Life is always busy. The only way to make progress is to start now with what you have. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference if you're consistent. You don't need to wait for the weekend, for a new course, or for better conditions. Start where you are. Use the resources around you. Watch a short video, listen to a podcast, read a short article, or speak to yourself while cooking. These small moments build fluency over time. Let's do a 10-minute daily plan together. For the first 2 minutes, speak to yourself in English about your day. For the next 2 minutes, write 3 sentences in a journal. Then spend 3 minutes watching or listening to something in English. Finally, spend 3 minutes reviewing 5 vocabulary words. That's it, just 10 minutes. If you do this every day, your English will improve faster than you think. Some learners also rely too much on memorization instead of real life usage. Memorizing word lists or grammar rules can be helpful, but if you don't use them, you forget them. Language is for communication, not just for exams. Instead of memorizing 50 words at once, learn 5 and use them in real sentences. Practice speaking with those words, writing with them, and using them in context. For example, let's say you're learning the words improve, habit, fluent, effort, and confident. You can say, "I want to improve my English by changing my bad habits. I speak English every day to become more fluent. I make an effort to learn something new daily. I feel confident when I practice regularly." This way, you remember the words not because you memorize them, but because they became part of your life. Also, some learners focus too much on learning complex vocabulary and forget about the importance of basic conversation. Advanced words are great, but everyday communication is based on simple, clear language. You don't need to use big words to sound smart. You need to speak in a way that people understand. If you're always trying to use complicated expressions, your speech may sound unnatural or forced. Focus on mastering simple phrases that you'll actually use. For example, instead of saying, "I'm experiencing a lack of enthusiasm today," you can simply say, "I'm feeling a bit low today." The second one is more natural and used in real conversations. Let's practice some natural phrases together. "I'm not sure about that." "That sounds great. Can you help me with this?" "I don't understand. Can you explain?" These are phrases you can use every day. Make a list of useful phrases and practice saying them out loud until they become automatic. Another important reminder is not to study English only when you feel motivated. Motivation is helpful, but it comes and goes. If you only study when you feel excited, your progress will be slow and inconsistent. What you need is a routine. Build English into your daily life, like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee. Make it a habit that doesn't depend on mood. For example, every morning after breakfast, you listen to a 5-minute English podcast. Every night before bed, you write a few sentences in English. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be regular. Once it becomes a habit, you won't need motivation to continue. You'll just do it automatically. Finally, remember to enjoy the process. Learning a language is a long journey, and if it feels like a chore, it becomes harder to stick with it. Find ways to make learning fun. Watch movies you enjoy, read about topics you love, and talk about things that matter to you. Connect with people, share stories, and laugh when you make mistakes. Celebrate your progress, even if it's small. Did you have your first English conversation today? That's amazing. Did you understand a joke in English? Great job. These moments keep you motivated. Learning English isn't just about rules, it's about connection, confidence, and personal growth. The more you enjoy the process, the more successful you'll be. Let's end today with a quick fluency practice. I'll say a sentence and you repeat after me. Ready? I believe in myself. Say it again. I believe in myself. Next, I'm improving every day. Again, I'm improving every day. One more. I enjoy learning English. Repeat. I enjoy learning English. These positive sentences help build a strong mindset, and remember, your mindset is just as important as your grammar or vocabulary. So, if you've recognized any of these bad habits in your learning journey, now is the time to change them. Pick one habit today, make a small plan to improve, and take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Use your English every day and be proud of your progress. You are capable, you are learning, and you are getting better each day. Keep practicing, keep growing, and never give up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more helpful English lessons every week. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Keep practicing the tips we discussed today, and remember, every small step brings you closer to fluency. Until next time, keep speaking English confidently. You've got this.